Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a political commentary video that has a really provocative title, Trump Checkmates the Left. What we're going to do is break down the arguments it makes piece by piece to see exactly how it builds its case.
And right out of the gate, the video hits you with this. It's a powerful accusation, and this one sentence really sets the stage for everything that follows. The core idea here is that some political moves aren't just about policy, but about a deliberate strategy to actually hurt Americans for political gain.
So our whole goal here is to just follow the logic of the source material. We're going to see how they build this case, which, interestingly enough, all starts with one very specific political event. Okay, let's dive into part one, the political standoff. The source video kicks things off by zeroing in on a government shutdown, framing it as this key pivotal moment, a checkmate, if you will, in a really high-stakes political game.
This slide really gets to the heart of the conflict, at least as the source presents it. So on one side, you've got Trump's action, signing an executive order to pay TSA workers. And on the other, what the video claims is the Democrats' stance, blocking that funding to try and force concessions on what the source calls open border policies.
The video then uses this question, which it attributes to John Fetterman, to really underscore its point. The argument is that the negative impact of the shutdown on federal workers wasn't just predictable, but maybe it was the main outcome of all the political maneuvering, which makes you question the real motives behind it all. All right, so we go from that very specific standoff, and now we move into part two. Accusations of deeper motives. The argument starts to build from this single event into a much broader claim about a long-term strategy. And this is where the video makes a huge leap. It introduces the concept of replacement theory. Now, according to the speakers, this isn't some fringe idea anymore. They claim it's an open strategy to completely change the American electorate with non-citizens, who, they argue, would be more dependent on the state and would reliably vote for one party. And this slide lays out the three-step process the source alleges is underway. So, step one, change the electorate. Step two, create a class of voters dependent on government programs. And then, the final goal, they claim, is to lock in a permanent political majority that just can't be challenged.
Now, to try and bolster this claim of intentional harm, the video points to this past statement they attribute to commentator Bill Maher. They present this as proof that the idea of hurting the economy and the American people to get a political outcome, in this case removing a president, is a known and even accepted strategy among their opponents.
Okay, so if these are the arguments being made, the source then asks a really key question. Why don't more people see things this way? And that brings us right to section 3, the information war. First, the source points to this polling data. They highlight a net approval rating of -55 for Democrats in Congress as proof that the public is just deeply unhappy. The question they pose right after that is, if the policies are so unpopular, why isn't that translating into major political change?
And here's how they connect those low approval numbers to their next big point: information suppression. Their whole argument is that people feel the dissatisfaction, but they don't know who to blame because, allegedly, the truth is being hidden from them.
To make this point feel more personal, one of the speakers shares this little anecdote. They claim their own friend, a TSA worker who was directly affected by the shutdown, had no idea about the political reasons behind their missing paycheck. This story is used to show the power of what they call a media echo chamber.
So what's causing this supposed information gap? Well, according to the source, this is it. They claim that because the vast majority of mainstream journalists are liberal, the media essentially acts as a propaganda arm. They argue this makes it nearly impossible for their side of the story to get out to the public, and it shields their opponents from any real accountability.
So, after diagnosing the political and media landscape like this, the source video doesn't just end with a summary. It pivots to our final section, a call to action. So what's the big takeaway for their viewers? It's a call to arms, really. The source urges them to start this grassroots information campaign, to speak out everywhere, to counter the media narrative, and to start treating politics like a battle for the very survival of their way of life. This quote really captures the mindset they're trying to get across. The message is that politics isn't just a series of isolated battles. It's a relentless, ongoing war. They're warning their audience not to get comfortable or relaxed after a victory, because, as they say, their opponents never stop pushing. It's a call for constant vigilance.
So when you piece it all together, the source video we've just examined presents this worldview, where political disagreement isn't a simple debate over policy, but it's an existential conflict. And that leaves us with a final and pretty crucial question to think about, especially when it comes to the nature of our political conversations today.